Hey, welcome back to True-Moto-Resto. Today, the job is to figure out why this Kawasaki Z1000 keeps having issues with cylinder number 3 when I first started up. So I thought at one point that it had resolved itself, and the whole problem was me, because I wasn't using the choke or the enrichener lever when I was starting it up properly. And I started it up maybe 4 or 5 times after I had it up here, and it was fine. And then yesterday I started it up and the same issue again, and I was using the choke lever, and it didn't seem to matter. I let it cool off and I tried it again, and it happened again. Whether it was half choke, full choke, no choke, it was just having a problem. So my task today is I'm going to put some new spark plugs in it for a start. And if I feel ambitious, I may try to remove the injector or injectors and see if I can clean them. But we'll see what happens when I get there. I'm not sure how easy or difficult that is on this bike. I've never really had it apart at all. So the first job, and I guess the sequence of events here, is remove the solo cowl, a few seconds, remove the seat, a couple of minutes, and then remove the tank, and then I can get access to everything. And I'm removing the tank, from what I understand, one bolt back under here someplace, as most of them have. And then when I lift that up, there's a couple of electrical connectors and really a vent or drain line on this side. And then somewhere over the other side, there's a fuel pressure connector with a couple of little buttons on the connector that I've got to find that and release that as well. But the first thing before I do any of that is I'm going to drain the fuel, and we'll go from there. There we are. I'm just going to siphon off as much of the fuel as I need to, just to lighten the tank up. Those things are not light when they're full of fuel, so it just makes it easier to maneuver. Less chance of dropping it, and easier to get access underneath it when there's no fuel in it. So here's the connectors that we're holding the tank on, or not holding the tank on, but under the tank there's a vent line here. Two electrical connectors underneath the frame cover on the right side, a white one and a beige one. And then in there you'll see, kind of the center of my screen there is a fuel hose connector. And the fuel line that goes on that comes from the pump in the tank is a pressure fit. There's a connector on the end of it that has 2 buttons, one on the top, one on the bottom. Squeeze them in, push it forward, push them in a bit further, and then pull them off, is the way I found it worked for me. So that's what I did to get it off, and now I think the tank should lift right off. Alright, so what I did is I moved this off this post here, and then I disconnected the coils. Just mark this one as number 4, because right now I'm focusing on 3 and 4, and then I disconnected number 3. Cup coil number 4 comes out easy. Cup coil number 3 is a huge pain in the ass. You can get it up at an angle, then you kind of got to squash this hose. I did loosen this off, which I saw somebody online did. It was Lonely Rider, so that was a little bit helpful there, trying to get a bit more room there. But finally got the coils out, and I've labeled them as I took them out, just so there's no... If I get to the point where I have to start swapping coils around and whatnot, then at least I will know. So now I just imagine it's going to be brutal trying to get that plug out of there. There's not very much room. Well, let's see what we get. All right, so this is the plug from cylinder number 3, and it doesn't look bad, but I guess you never know. So yeah, we'll see our 90K, and then have this new guy going in. But before I put this in, I'm going to check the gap. All right. We've got the tank back on, plugs are in. I I've just kind of left it there for now. I haven't put the side cover or anything back on. I thought I'd give it a go and see what happens. Just make sure I don't have any fuel leaking out in there. Okay. Doesn't want to start. All right. Well, my problem was I didn't have enough fuel in it because I drained the tank right down. It didn't seem to be pulling enough fuel, so I put another couple of liters in, and she's fired right up. And so far, so 3 and 4 are doing okay. What I did do, actually, since I had it all apart, I switched the coils around. I figured I might as well. There's new plugs and everything in there. At least that would tell me for sure if it shit the bed on number 4 this time that it was a bad coil. But so far, it seems to be okay. I guess I'll call that a success, and then we'll put the covers and bolt the tank down and fill it back up with fuel, and then we'll try it again tomorrow, make sure it behaves itself. Okay, here we are the next day. Everything looks good. Put the bike back together and keep an eye on it over the coming days, make sure it's still doing what it's supposed to be doing. So hopefully it was just spark plugs.